Animal Crossing: New Horizons is a game in which you rapidly deprive an island of its natural resources in order to craft tools that never stop breaking. By and large, this was the most radical overhaul of the Animal Crossing series in an era loaded with massive changes to Nintendo's formulas. The setting is moved from a rural town to a nascent island colony. Customization plays a major role, and players can harvest raw materials to craft tools, furniture, and other items. The result marked the franchise's biggest success, helped by a sudden pandemic that made people from seemingly all walks of life turn to the game to escape an increasingly turbulent world. However, it also proved to be one of the most controversial games on the Nintendo Switch, with fans continuing to debate about whether the game's changes make it a worthy follow-up to its highly acclaimed predecessor, or if the focus on customization took away many of the features that made earlier games so beloved. The game also drew divided responses for its drip-feed content approach, featuring a relatively bare-bones base that got new features added with incremental updates, culminating in a massive version 2.0.0 update in late 2021 that added a wealth of features and a DLC-based successor to Animal Crossing: Happy Home Designer. The game had its last regular update in early 2022, followed by a security fix in November that also covered several other Switch titles. Regardless of one's opinion on New Horizons, there's no denying that it was a very different experience compared to what came before. Unused room IDs exist for additional rooms for the museum have existed since launch. Hanawa is the Japanese name for gyroids. Artwork and the art gallery were added in Update 1.2, but the art gallery consists of only one room, not two like the IDs suggest. Gyroids and the cafe were added in the 2.0 update, but the museum shop still hasn't been added. One aspect of New Horizons that stands out from earlier games is the rebranding of player genders to styles, making the game more accessible to queer audiences. However, despite the name change, styles still have a hidden value assigned to them that corresponds to a gender binary. This affects the player character's model by adding a dark stripe across their chest, corresponding to a bra, albeit noticeably lower than where an actual bra would be worn when the female style is selected. This element can't normally be seen in-game without the use of glitches, as removing a player character's shirt normally results in them wearing a plain white tank top regardless of style. In New Horizons, every room has a white skybox around the modeled area. These are normally unseen in-game. The skybox around the small yellow tint you use when you first start the game. Inside is the room model, the same model with the skybox removed. While in the island overworld, the model for the Dodo Airlines building contains an unseen low-poly mesh for a desk on the inside. It is impossible to see this through normal gameplay. Wilbur is always stored out of bounds in the airport behind Orville. However, he cannot be interacted with, and can only be seen in the short cut scene when you go to someone else's island. Unusually, talking to the out-of-bounds Wilbur while on someone else's island brings up the above text. This dialogue is normally used as one of a few greetings lazy villagers will give to players who are visiting another player's island as a guest. Wilbur does not have any other dialogue for being talked to in this map and other scenarios, prompting an empty speech bubble in those cases. Found within Animal Crossing: New Horizons exist several unused and unseen menus which were cut for one reason or another. Unused Shop Menu, likely meant as a template. Unknown keyboard with a really large input size. Unused School Building Rename, untranslated. The game features code for a variety of debugging elements and features. Present in every update since launch exists a debug display for the game's camera. It displays information on the camera's coordinates, angle, and more. These are some model files containing only .dds texture files. They have an unknown use, but they seem to be placeholders. Also, the gray dummy texture is misspelled as Gary, which is likely a typo or a mistranslation. While not unused, it is impossible to see the stickers on the back of KK's guitar without requesting a song to be played. The texture reveals that they are passes with drawings of Brewster and Dr. Shrunk on each. These are references to past locations where KK has performed: The Roost, run by Brewster, and City Folk and Wild World, and Club LOL, run by Dr. Shrunk, in New Leaf. At the initial release of the game, 1.0.0 to be precise, an icon of DJ KK was present in the game data. Although DJ KK was added in the game in the 2.0 update, it was updated to give him headphones, with the headphone-less icon being left unused. Throughout New Horizons, the player can obtain reactions, which are small animations used to display certain emotions, like in previous games. However, some of these animations aren't actually being used. The majority of these unused reactions are exclusively used only by NPCs and villagers, and sometimes the player in certain conversations between two villagers or in other situations, but some are just animations that have no use whatsoever. Oddly enough, the Shrunk Funk Shuffle from Animal Crossing New Leaf is also here, despite Dr. Shrunk not being able to teach you exclusive reactions.